Welcome back to Small Caps, ladies and gentlemen, and we are still in the first part of the year. Today, I'm joined by Brett Wallace. He's the Managing Director of Recharge Metals. Now, they've had some exciting news out, so I've asked Brett to come back and have a chat with me. The ASX code is REC. You all know I like a little bit of copper and gold, and Recharge have just made an announcement about some really good copper hits over at their Brandy Hill South project in Western Australia, where it's been a bit warm lately. So congratulations on getting out there and getting things done, Brett. Good to see you.
Great to see you again too, Kerry. Yeah.
The last time we spoke, Brett, you just listed. Now, for those that might have missed it, that was October the 11th last year. We're now only in February, so it's only, 3-4 months after you've listed, but you've been getting on with the job. And the most important thing is getting on with the job means drilling. So can you just, first of all, very quick update on who are Recharge, and then let's get into some of these results.
Yep. So Recharge, we listed, as you said, in October last year. We're a copper-focused company. We've got 3 main project areas, the main one being Brandy Hill South. Also got a Hyde and Tampere East project and a suite of projects up in the Kimberleys at Bohemia Downs. So, yep, we jumped straight into drilling almost immediately after listing, actually. I think it was within about 2 or 3 weeks we had the rig on the ground.
That's great.
And, yeah, it was a good result. And we initially had the program split to have it in 2 stages, one with a smaller rig and then one with a bigger SRAM rig to drill deeper. But it became apparent after doing the first 4 holes, which we've just received the results on, was that we needed the bigger rig straight away just to be drilling deeper through the whole program. So that bigger rig didn't arrive until December because that's when it was available. So we got knocked out another 3 holes just before Christmas. And then we went up and finished the program in January. So we've only finished it a couple of weeks ago, 20 holes all up. 3 of them have been primed for downhole EM, and 3 have also been primed to do some diamond tail drilling, which will be starting next week. And so it's just coincided that we've finished the program and now we've got the first batch of results, which the labs over here, it's a bit of a drama getting results out, but that's okay. We'll get them. But so we
eventually they come. But you've got some results out. So what are they showing you, and have they exceeded your expectations? Let's just talk about those because people understand, especially with copper, what grades are you getting? What are you looking at?
So the grade's been great. And I don't know if it's exceeded it. I was actually pretty bullish that we would get some good results. So I don't know, that's maybe the geologist in me. But so we've had some good intersections on every hole that we've drilled, which we were hoping for, and some wide ones. So the biggest being 32 metres at just under 0.5% on hole 7. But, you know, there's been some high grade results hits as well. So we've 12 metres at 1.2%, and that included 4 metres at 2.8%, 7% copper. And then other ones that are further down hole, 9 metres at 0.3 from 145 metres in hole 20. So every hole has had wide intersections, and some of the holes have had a hit of high grade copper in there as well. So it's only the first 4 holes. So they were drilled on 3 lines. So we'll see a lot more information come when we get the assay results on 16 holes to come. So it is in line with what we were seeing when we put our announcement out on the drilling update, that we were seeing a lot of visual copper sulfides in our logging, and that's correlated with the results that we're getting. So that's been great. That sort of what we've been seeing is coming through. Other than I thought there might be 1 or 2 bigger intersections on 1 or 2 of the holes, but can't have everything.
Don't be greedy. When you say high grade, and for those, because sometimes we have people watching that are looking and thinking, well, I like copper as a commodity and I really want to try and understand it. When you say high grade, what do you consider high grade? Over 0.5?
Probably over 1%, really, for a
1%.
disseminated. So in this project, it's a disseminated sulfide, not a massive sulfide, although we do have a zone of massive sulfide running through as we go through the fresh. But look, if I put that in perspective, another company is, they've got a big disseminated resource, and that's at a 0.3% cutoff. Theirs is actually at 0.29. So we're averaging out at about maybe 0.4, 0.5, which is where we want our cutoff to be, to have a little bit higher grade with the disseminated ore. But we're also seeing zones of massive sulfide where we're getting these kicks of, like I said, 12 metres at 1.2%. So there's zones there that are what I would consider high grade, good grade, very good grade.
How deep was that? How deep was that drilling, Brett?
So that result was at 74 metres that we've got there. But so these initial 4 holes were only drilled to, I think the deepest hole was 160 metres, but we're still getting results, as I said, 9 metres from 9 metres from 145 metres, and that was 0.3. So there's still areas of sulfide that are deeper. And in the current program where we drilled down, the deepest hole was 230 metres, but I think all up we drilled 8 holes that were 200 metres plus, and there were still visual sulfides present. Whether they're copper bearing or not is another thing. We'll have to wait for the results to come through. So we're seeing sulfides at depth as well, even though what we've got here are wide intersections on every hole with some high grade hits in some of the holes. Yeah.
So just paint a bigger picture for me of Brandy Hill South. How big is it? How much have you done at the moment? I want to get a visual for our audience out there as to, this is just the beginning. As we said a moment ago, you only listed in October, and you've only drilled a pimple on their whole area.
Yeah. So the tenement itself is I wouldn't say it's a huge tenement, but it's a fair sized tenement. I think it's 30 blocks, 37 blocks. We've only drilled along strike 500 metres of the strike line. And in the latest announcement, there's obviously a map there that show, and we have strike open in both directions along the shear. So that's really important. And the shear runs the entire length of our tenement north to south. So we've got another 15, 20 kilometres of strike line really to work on. Obviously, there's real target areas where we know there's geophysics and that, but yeah, we've only just scratched the surface of what we've done. We've targeted this area first because there were historical results there. And now through stepping out in each direction along strike and infilling where we know we've got some good results as well. We're still seeing sulfides at depth, so that's partly the reason of going back and doing the diamond tail next week. Was we still want to punch through and know what the depth horizon is. If it's anything like Deflector, which is only 15, 20 kilometres up the road, they're still there at 280, 300 metres. So we're hoping that we'll have a similar horizon with ours that in terms of depth, that we've still got another 100 metres of sulfides that we'll see. But really, it's stepping the project out north and south of where we're currently drilling, and just keep stepping out to see how far the strike goes.
Where do you think the investment opportunity is? Is it in you making sure that as you step this out, that this is a consistent, potentially high-grade copper deposit? I want to sort of painting that picture for our investor audience as to why they should be having a good look at Recharge. What's coming forward?
We've just completed 20 holes, which we've knocked out straight away. Now we've got diamond tail drilling, and that should tell the audience that, look, we're seeing some really good stuff there. We need to get a better understanding. So part of the reason for doing the diamond tail is, the depth horizon, but also to give us a better understanding of the structural geology, and that will assist us in planning the next programs and the direction we should be drilling and location of the lines. But essentially, we're just stepping out the program in each direction. So there's going to be continued drilling. It'll be continued RC and diamond. There will be some more drilling done further to the south at another pocket that we know potentially has some mineralisation from historical results as well. That will be a 50-hole air core program. We've got the geophysics to come. We've got the downhole tail to come. We've still got 16 holes of results to come from the program just finished. So really, we've only just scratched the surface. So I'm pretty excited about what's to come, especially with the next 16 holes, but also with the diamond tail. But also, we've got so much ground to work with north and south that we don't have really any idea yet as to what the extent of the strike is. It may be the entire length. who
Well,
knows?
I want to know from Brett Wallace, as MD, as a geologist by background, what is it that made you say, you know what, let's go Brandy Hill? Because you've got a couple of other projects, but actually the focus right now is here at Brandy Hill South. As a geo, I want to know, are you excited about like what's
Absolutely.
what's getting you up in the morning, Brett?
Well, this is getting you up in the morning, and also my two daughters. But anyway,
They're only 7 and 9, ladies and gentlemen. They're mothers.
well, they still get up early, but I wake up early too. What excited us, me about it on that score was that with Brandy Hill, there is cover, whereas up at the deflector and even the Brandy Hill mine and the pipeline bore pits, it's all outcropping, and so it's a bit lower hanging fruit there because you can actually see the outcropping. We're undercover. We've got a bit more work to do. That excites me. We're having to work hard to find out what we've got, but there is still mineralisation there all the way through this entire shear that we've got that runs north to south through the entire tenement. So
you also talked about historical drilling. When was that done? How much was done, and what was that showing back in the day?
So Revolution, who we acquired the tenement off, or Pure Rich, I should say, they only completed 3 RC holes. Before them, IGO had put a couple of RC holes down as well, but that was 10, 15 years ago. And before that, it was all done by Dora and Mutiny and Sipper and all these companies that had the project over the time. And they had done some air core. So there's not a lot of info to grab other than the holes that were done by IGO and Pure Rich that we acquired it off had some good results there. Had in particular had some very good intersections that we just thought, well, this is a good project to grab and have it as our lead flagship project and work it up from there.
What I want to know, putting the investor hat on, is other people have owned it in the past. Why haven't they done it in a systematic way that you're doing it? Did they have other projects? Did they not see what you're seeing? Did they do it in a different way? I'm trying to understand how you can make this into something which potentially has that high grade copper that you can start to understand a little bit more.
I think when the Mutiny Dore had it, their focus was obviously on deflector. So they couldn't work on everything together. And because this was undercover and it was a little bit hard work, they've probably gone, oh, well, let's not worry about that one. And you always have to, how the Mining Act works is you use it or lose it. So they probably had to surrender some ground. And then other companies have picked it up, but I don't, other than IGO, who are a very big company, but I think their focus was elsewhere as well. So all I can say is they weren't as focused on as what we are. A couple of the other smaller holders were probably not explorers like we are. They just basically wanted to get the project, give it some uplift and move it on.
Right. Okay.
That's how we got it off the vendor. They weren't looking to develop it themselves. They wanted someone else to come on board to do that. So that was us. So, but I'm here to be an explorer and a developer. That's basically what I am and what Recharge want to be. And that's what we're doing. So we'll be continuing to explore. There will continually be holes put in the ground there, and not just at Brandy Hill, but our other projects too when they're up and running.
Yep.
But so this is just the start. But that's why we saw it. I saw there was potential there from the word go. It just was underdeveloped. It was underdrilled, underexplored.
Okay, so I'm talking to you, just a few months after listing. I'm impressed you got straight onto the ground and started the drilling. Let's talk between now and the next few months. Is it just all that step out drilling at Brandy Hill South?
No. So initially it'll be the 3 downhole diamond tails that will get completed first, and they'll start next week. Actually, I think is the kickoff date. And then we've got the downhole EM to complete on some of the holes. And then from there, it'll be, let's consolidate the data, let's crunch their numbers and see what we've got, and then develop the next RC Diamond program to step out where we currently are. And then further to the south, there's another little area at Brandy Hill that we're interested in putting some air core holes into, just to get a better idea of what's happening further south. And if that hits the same zones that we're hitting here, then RC will follow down there. And then on top of that, we've got to get out on the other ground that we've recently acquired or pegged in the Brandy Hill area, which is to the north and west of where we currently are. So we need to go out and get some mapping and rock chipping and the like done there. We should have the heritage agreement squared away on the Bohemia Downs project in the Kimberley. So we're hoping that as soon as the wet season finishes, we've got the tenements granted and we can get out and start getting some mapping and rock chipping done on those projects. And
are they copper as well? What are they, copper gold?
Bohemia Downs is base metal, so lead, zinc, copper, and Hyden is copper, nickel, gold. Yep, but predominantly copper, nickel. Yep.
Copper, nickel.
Yep. So and we have to work through what's happening there with the option that we have over one of the main tenements there. So that's all in train at the moment, and then we're looking out for other projects as well. That may either give us a bigger footprint of where we're currently operating out of, which is nice to do, but also other tenements that we think, oh no, that's got some potential there, we should grab hold of that. And you're well funded at the moment, aren't you? Yes, yep, well funded. Well, we only recently listed, so we just put the quarterly out. I think we've still got just under 4 million, I think, is what we've got in the tin. So we're well funded to continue what we're doing. Yep, and okay. I want to know this. Everyone knows this is how I finish them up. We're running out of time. Brett, give me 3 reasons, and I've thrown this at him, ladies and gentlemen. There's no pre-warning for poor Brett, so he's going to think on his feet. 3 reasons that you think investors should be having a serious look at Recharge Metals right now. Okay, we've only just got the first 4 holes of assay results, which show significant copper results. We've got 16 holes still to come, where we're still seeing visual copper sulfides. We've got diamond tail drilling just about to commence, and we've got our downhole EM program just about to commence. They're the 3 things. We're going to get a lot of information from those. 16 holes to start with is a lot of assay results to come, but the downhole EM and the diamond tails are going to give us a lot of information that we can structure our next program around, and even better results with the diamond, I think. Plenty of news flow to come, ladies and gentlemen, for Recharge Metals. And as I said at the start, the ASX code is REC. They're not sitting back. They're getting out there and they're putting the money into the ground with drilling. That's how you find a resource, and that's how you build things. Brett Wallace, Managing Director, thanks so much for joining me on Small Cap today. Great to see you. And when those results come for the 16, come back on and give us an update, see how you're going. Will do. Thanks very much, Kerry.